All right, the much anticipated IRS knuckles to run 15 by whatever you want to run with proper offset wheels on the S550s are here. I'm going to go over it. We're going to do an installation video here, but I'm going to first go over what these knuckles look like and what you're going to get in the package. Okay, so this is the knuckle. It's T6061 billet, anodized black. It started out as a 82-pound piece of billet and machined down to about 6.5 pounds. We had some design challenges that increased the price of the machining, along with obviously an 82-pound piece of billet is going to be expensive. Machined in the USA, designed, machined, and all parts are USA. We could have gone cheaper and done Chinese, but we're not going to do that. So it is more expensive than what some may want, but we wanted to make sure that they're quality pieces, that they're not going to fail. Because the last thing you want to have happen is a failure of a rear end component like this with 1,000+ horsepower going on the track will shoot you right into the wall, or even worse if something happens at a 1,000-foot mark or something. So we used obviously billet T6061. We're using Aurora bearings. Okay, this is the race series 12T, and this is the 10T. Now these are have exceptional load capacity. This is for the toe, and this is for the main unit, which will transition the power. We've got helicoils, okay, for the caliper mounts. These are 3/8 24. We've got believe this is Timken steel spacers that we had made 3 doors up from our shop at our Howard's machine shop. This is for the spacers. We also had these custom made. These are the same material, and these will actually allow the use of the stock caliper. Of course, we got the C-clips, and we have ARP nuts and some premium washers. Again, all this stuff, premium components, could have gone cheaper and had them done in China or whatever, but we are not going to take any chances here with anybody's vehicle or life by cheaping out on quality to save a few bucks. So over here we have a fully assembled unit. These are the spacers in here, nice tight bearings. These the spindle goes in just like stock. Okay, no big deal. So you'll put that in. It's a tight fit. It's supposed to be. The helicals are already in. And we have the couple of design features we'll go over. Okay, here it is on the vehicle. I installed this one, and I want to point out that we do have the ABS mount, so you could run an ABS sensor if you wanted to. We have dual mounting for calipers. For aftermarket, this is bolt spacing of 5 1/4. Okay, 5 1/4 bolt space. That is an industry standard for aftermarket calipers. You can literally find hundreds of calipers out there that with that bolt spacing and run your favorite manufacturer's brakes. The other holes here are for the stock, and we're going to mount that today. Okay. Want to go over a couple of other things. When you're doing the installation, you're going to have to shave down some of these bolts because on a 15-inch wheel they will get very close. So this one for the upright, the one for the toe, and I even shaved the factory toe arm down a little bit. We've got this one here for the main bolt, and then if you're running a sway bar, you may want to do these as well. They articulate and can come close. The bulk of the shaving that you're going to have to do, you might have to do the front of the lower control arm here if you have wheel weights, which is where these were. And then over here on the lower, this is the bulk of it. To do this correctly, I recommend that you remove the strut or the shock and the spring and install the knuckle, install the brake rotor. You don't need to do the caliper, and then the wheel. Okay, and then what you're going to do is push the wheel up, see where it touches, mark it, grind it, and you're going to do that until the wheel gets tucked into the fender. Once you do that, reassemble everything, go out and drive it, hit a few speed bumps. You're going to want to articulate the rear end, so one wheel up, one wheel down, and then come back and check to make sure nothing's hitting. That's the best way to do this. Now, if you wanted to, this is plenty strong. The way this RS works is that as the wheel spins this way, this is counteracted and it torques this way. So this upright takes the load. That's why we have a big, strong load path here. And then all the way through here, that's why this is so thick. And this, okay, so this is torqued down. And we did not modify at all. You don't have to grind on this. So this is the strength right here. So this is plenty strong still. But if you want to strengthen it further, you can do what we did and send it off to our one of our chassis guys here, and just had some billet aluminum welded between these two. Okay, see that? Between these two, and that's for further strength. It's not necessary, it's an option. Okay, now, brake options. Of course, we're running the Lam, and you can do the Lam brakes. There's Lam components, call them up. They have an open invoice under AED for the S550, front and rear. Premium brakes, they'll be in steel, and they come with what's on the front here, which is spindles, modified hubs, ceramic, bearings, master cylinder, calipers, of course, rotors, and what you'll need from there is the aerospace components, manual brake pedal assembly to mount in the S550, and you'll have to do brake lines as you delete the ABS. Okay. Now, that's one option for the brakes. The second option is to run the stock caliper, and we're going to go over the installation. Essentially, these little pieces screw right in here. Make sure you Loctite them in. Okay. There's normally blue Loctite in there. We took it out for ease of assembly and disassembly. Okay, you're going to use blue Loctite, and we're going to go over exactly how these this will be installed with the factory S197 rotor here. The third option, I believe Terry Reeves already has Bear set up, ready to go. He sent one of the knuckles off to Bear, so you can buy Bear brakes. And then you can get basically any manufacturer's brakes that you want. Once they know the manufacturer's going to need to know a few things. Okay, if you call up Aerospace or you call up whoever you want to call and use their brakes, Willwood, whatever. Bolt pattern. Okay, that's for the caliper mounting bolt. That's again 5 1/4. Okay, then they're going to want to know the distance from the center of the spindle or the hub right here to this spot, so they can get the rotor size, and that is 4.552 inches or 115.5 millimeter. Essentially, you're going to have a rotor somewhere in the 11 to 11.5 range, depending on how their calipers mount. So this caliper mounts right here, but you may find them, you may get some that mount down here or way up here, and they're going to change rotor size. Okay. The last one is to get the hat depth. So it's going to be a measurement from the face here to the mounting point, which is back here, and that is 2 inches and 3/16. So 2 3/16 inch, or 71.5 millimeter. That's from here to here. Okay. Those are the measurements you want to give them, or you can just have them watch this video and they'll get the measurements from me. Once they have that, they can set you up with whatever with a rotor and caliper package. Okay. Now I'm going to shut this off and start installation. And maybe I'll just install it like it is. Okay. So S197 rotor needs to be shaved in here by 0.010 of an inch. So I just used a die grinder and went around it a few times, and it took off a little bit, 0.010 of an inch, and then it will slide right onto the S550 hub. This is just a factory rotor from, I think AutoZone or something like that. Tricky part is that you need to install the caliper on the rotor and then slide it in so that it actually mounts, so that the pins, the adapter spacers, these pins, okay, they go right through here, these holes. Then there's going to be washers and nuts on the back side that you tighten, and then we'll throw on the wheel. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this down and do that real quick. It didn't take much. Okay. These might be a tight fit depending on the clearances. Factory calipers vary. The knuckles are going to vary by half a thou. You might need to tap it in with a rubber mallet. No big deal. Okay. Then we're going to install the nut and the washer. I'm just going to do the top. You can do the bottom when you do this, obviously. You can see how this fits on the knuckle. Okay, no big deal. Let's do it finger tight. Now we have the rotor on there. My wheel, which is right here, it was set up for the race brake, so it has a very, very low pad. So I'm going to install a spacer so that we don't have the wheel contacting this as it sits back, okay? So let's go grab that spacer. It's a pretty basic installation. We're not changing the geometry, by the way. You'll want to get an alignment after you install just to be certain that everything's good, but the geometry was kept factory. The toe arm was moved, but it's in the same arc as factory. The wheels, you can run any wheel you want. You can run the stock wheels like you did before. It's not going to change where the wheel sits. You can run the 17s that you currently have. If you're currently running a 17 and you want to get ready for the 15s down the road, no big deal. It's going to put the wheel and the tire back to where it was before you installed these knuckles. There's no change to any of that. All right, so spacer. Bear with me. I'm going to throw that on there and then go grab the lug nuts because they are shanked. And I forgot to get them. Hold on. Okay, it's done. Here we have it. You can see this is a 28, 10.5, 15 Pro bracket radial on a 15 by 11.5 inch bead lock, which measures 12.5 inches. We've got an S197 rotor in here. We've got the caliper for the S550 factory caliper, and we are clearing. No problem. Oh well, I didn't install the brake line. That normally goes to the forward spot, so this is just for purposes. Let you know that this here is the cheap option. I think these rotors are probably 25, 40 bucks a piece. So with the knuckles and no bleeding the brake lines, you can just install your factory S550 calipers. Don't even need to bleed them, just get new rotors, shave the inside of the rotor so it fits on the hub correctly, and boom, install your wheelers. There you go. Now you have the budget 15-inch brake setup, or the budget setup to run 15 by whatever you want to run as far as wheels and tires go. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me on our AED Tuning Facebook page or via email, even phone call, and of course Terry Reeves is going to be there to support you guys. These are in limited quantities. We didn't have a ton of them made, and Terry bought every single one, which is great. He's been great to deal with. He knows what the racers want. He knows what you guys need, and he's here to supply you with all of that. They'll be shipping today. I mean, I'm assembling, I'll be working, and I'll be assembling, and we're going to drop ship for the first ones until I can get enough done that we're going to just ship them right to Terry, and he'll have them in stock. So we have them in stock, and they're ready to go. Okay?